and Lysander, and such great names as these. But of all the world's great heroes, there's none that can compare with a tow row, 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 row to the British Grenadier. And as we go a-marching up to the Palisades, our king can walk with fuses and we with hand grenades. We throw them from the glacis about the enemy's ears with a tow row, 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 row with a British Grenadier. So the Americans didn't like all that, so they changed the words. Some future day will find us the masters of the main. Our ships will speak in fire to England, France, and Spain, and nations over all the world will tremble and obey. The sun's the sun, the sun, the sun, the free America. So fight and shout and fight for free America. Oppose, 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 oppose for free America. The sun's the sun, the sun, the sons of free America.
So, as we call it, choosing sides. What was it all about? It was all about the opportunity. Who gave you an opportunity and how they did that, right? So, of course, there was the British side. The British were totally upset. Like, how dare you guys think that you should have independence? How dare you think you should have the rights of Englishmen? You don't live in England. You know, you're colonists. You're second-class citizens. So that's the overall perspective, right, of the crown and of the people in Great Britain. Mm-hmm. Now, in America, we're saying, oh, no, 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 we're being taxed without representation. This is simply wrong. As a matter of fact, every time we make a profit, you guys step in. Our ships come in from overseas, and you want to stop our ships. You want to find out what's on the ships. You want to make us to pay taxes and tariffs. This is just not right, right? So the famous John Brown of Rhode Island, he would go out on a limb, grab some 40 guys together, and they attacked a ship called the Gatsby, a British ship. They took the crew off, they beat up the captain, they shot him in the leg. And of course, this actually should have been the whole thing that started the revolution, the Gatsby, 1772, up in Rhode Island. So that was our reaction. You're taking our stuff. Of course, what came by boat? Everything. The people, the sugar, the cotton, everything moved by boat. A lot of times we look at the water as being a separator, but actually the oceans were connectors, not separators. The rivers were connectors. The bays were connectors, not separators. So we as Americans, were kind of very upset about this, taxing everything. So why? Why would you join the British? Well, the British pay cash, right? The Americans pay colonial dollars, right? So that's one good reason to join the British. The British always pay. Americans can go for a long, long time in between payment, right? The British gave you a new suit of clothes. The Americans offered a new suit of clothes too. I always like to say, made from the latest styles, cut of the latest materials, so that you would be dressed to kill. Okay? So you got a new suit of clothes. You've got pay, $6.66 a month. They didn't say it like that. They said $6, 6 2/3 dollars a month is the way they put it. I like the way it sounds, $6.66 myself. But so you were paid. The British didn't pay as much, but they paid frequently, right? And they paid with pound sterling, and not with all kinds of crazy things. What else do you want? Well, we look at our Declaration of Independence. The Declaration of Independence says all men are created equal. However, they didn't really mean that. Just simply put, they didn't mean that. As we go down in our declaration, we'll get back to that statement about the king encouraged domestic insurrection, right? So that was something that Thomas Jefferson wrote into his Declaration of Independence. And of course, we were the domestics. And this is not saying we need to free the domestics. It's not saying we need to end slavery. It says that the king was making a problem by offering freedom to the domestics, right? So that was one big thing. Now, under that, we have other states. Pennsylvania came out with their constitution, September 1776. One man, one vote. One man, one vote. What do we call that? Democracy. What did George and the guys think about that? No way. You're going to let ignorant people with no education participate in a democracy? So a democracy can't work without education, and there was no public education. So they were very much against this idea of one man, one vote. Now in Pennsylvania, not only do we have one man, one vote, but if you were an African who owned land, you could actually vote. Now that's very unusual for the colonial policies and the colonial governments, very unusual. So that's when we start to see these sides and separations. When it comes to Africans, it's obvious, right? The British say they're going to give you freedom. The Americans say But well, look, in conclusion, of course, it's really never over, right? There's always more to learn, and there's always more to expose. Way back in 1855, William C. Nell said it's the future's job to illuminate these heroes of our culture and of our community, to illuminate their stories. And I encourage you to come and join us. Join me at Beckton Tours. Join us at the African American Museum. Join us at the Association for the Study of African History and Life. That's right, there's some opportunities there, but join us in telling our stories and recanting our stories and letting people know that we're not criminals. You know, that's a rumor. That's a lie. We're a foundation of society. We are the people who define what freedom means for us today, as it was in the past, and I believe in the future. So you must be a griot. You must tell your own stories, because if you don't tell your own stories, they won't be told. And if they're not told, we can continue to walk around in this obfuscation, in this fog of a life, always wanting more, always getting more, but never having what we really need. So yes, come out, join us. Hey, we've even got a Civil War reenactment group. You want to be involved in the Civil War, or at least learn about it? Join our reenactment group. So there's reenactment groups, there's museums, there's historic houses, there's all these places where you can come to learn and, once again, illuminate, because that really should be our process, to illuminate the stories of our own folks who actually define freedom for yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So come on out, be a griot, tell our stories, change the world.